Hey guys, it's Alan Kemp here, CEO of Queensland Solar and Lighting, and right now we're going to do a bit of a review, a look at YH Sunpro Power, predominantly known as Sunpro Power. Apparently, the reason why I say apparently, I don't know too much about this panel. I had a follower from one of my fans down in Victoria. He said, "Oh yeah, I'm interested in the Tongwei panel." I said, "Yeah, I've been using them for years. They're fine." And then he goes, "Hey mate, I found a better panel, Sunpro Power." I said, "Oh yeah, never heard of it." And if I haven't heard of it, and I'm like 12 years deep in the game, I was like, "Wow, it must be some new thing bought in from some wholesaler that just got bought in and possibly rebadged." Anyway, went out and asked a whole lot of other professionals in the industry from all around Australia if they've heard of it, and not everyone's like, "You're spelling sun power differently." Like, yes, we know about sun power, which is the very best panel you can get. Costs a fortune. Not many people buy it at all. Maybe 1% of solar installations are a sun power panel or a true sun power panel. But I said, no, Sun Pro. And I showed them a link because I'd done a little bit of digging myself, and they said, "No, never heard of it." And then one or two were like, "Yeah, we know about that." So it turns out it's a wholesaler bringing it in from China. And that's why there's no real. That's why it's not everywhere. Usually, if a panel's a well-known panel or mass manufactured, because a big proper panel, it's sold at all different retailers and wholesalers. But this one was just its own little wholesaler. Must have thought, yeah, we'll give it a go. And it's a tier 1 panel. Now, a lot of people are like, "Oh, tier 1 means good. If I buy a solar panel, it has to be tier 1. Tier 1 doesn't mean anything. Tier 1 just means it's a Bloomberg, which we know is a financial magazine, meets some criteria for them to then call it tier 1. The Bloomberg criteria, it's not quality or anything like that, or think quantity is a tiny bit of but it's easy enough to meet the criteria and call yourself a tier 1 panel. So the cheapest panels are a tier 1 panel, and in some cases even the best panel falls on and off the tier 1 ranking all the time, just because I think they don't get enough purchases to qualify, because I think you need to have X amount of panels used in a commercial setting, which of course people aren't going to buy Ferraris to fleet their own taxi fleet. And what's better, a Ferrari or a Toyota Camry? So you know what I mean. But so then the Ferrari's off the list. Same thing as what goes on here. Anyway, let's get into Sunpro. Let's see what I found on it. All right, Sunpro. This is their website, Sunpro Power. So over 10 years in solar, apparently. Like I said, 12 years in, I haven't heard of it. Have I been living under a rock? Quite possibly. Sunpro, see this Sunpro all-in-one ESS. Okay, so I've never heard of a panel manufacturer making a battery or an inverter. So when they do this, it's companies that go and get an inverter, OEM, which means they just put their own badge on it. One manufacturer says, "We'll OEM this if you give a certain amount of orders. We'll put our own, put your brand name on it, and you can sell it as Sunpro." So whoever is Sunpro said, "Yeah, we'll do that with the inverter." Then they went to a battery manufacturer, and then they said, "Yeah, we'll do that." So really, usually they're not experts, the people that do this on any of them, because how can you be? A battery's so different to an inverter, which is so different to a solar panel. Totally different way of manufacturing, how to manufacturing components in the manufacturing process. Really crazy, actually. But this is what a lot of them have done in the past, and it's starting to come back now with OEM products. It's more of a brand they're trying to build. Like we've seen, was it Duracell, I think, or Energizer batteries a few years ago that were around a little bit. Like, they make little AA batteries, and then they thought, "Oh, we'll get into the solar market and buy them for houses." Same thing. We know what you're up to. Okay, so they've done that for a home battery, it appears. They've done it for an inverter. They've done it for a 475 watt panel and a commercial size 550 watt panel. They're in Spain by the looks of things. So they're getting out there. They were in Munich the other day, Mushkin. They were in Germany the other day. And people always think, oh, not Chinese, not Chinese. You go to Germany, the whole thing's filled with Chinese panels. Chinese panels are everywhere. There's good, there's bad, but they're the panels. Panels are from China. Germany used Chinese panels. They're in Canton Fair, which is obviously Chinese, the biggest fair in the world. SENC, which is massive, China's biggest PV exhibition. South America, that was in Brazil. So they're in Spain, which is on the side of Europe. Product and solutions, there's ESS battery, and there's more information about their panel. So they don't appear to be an Australian thing. They do appear to be a very big company, or not too big. We're not talking Trina Jinko or Canadian Solar or anything of that size, but that doesn't mean anything. They're making a panel and they've been around for 10 years, just they've never entered Australia. Apparently they were, when I looked them up earlier, they actually were in Australia. Yeah, they were previously called ADT Solar. Now this company, once again, I've never heard of either. So have I been living under a rock, or, you know, what's going on here? Let's go to images. I've never seen... Was it that? Yes, it must have been that. That's the home security racket, isn't it? ADT. So they must have been bringing it in themselves as had an exclusive OEM deal going on. Ha! I'm quite sure that's what ADT is. That logo is ADT Security, I believe. Let's go to images. Yeah, that's them. So that's why we didn't see them. So they must have dropped them off where it says formerly ADT, and they've now become a wholesaler here's picked them up in Australia and started pumping them because they like what they see. So the exclusiveness between what appeared to be ADT Solar has finished, and they can now be sold on the open market. As for the panel, they were apparently, it tells you all about the quality of the manufacturing. The panel is, I don't know what we've got here. There seems to be a few of them to choose from, but what's being sold. So would I put them on? Yeah, I'd put them on, I guess. And would I sell them? Probably I won't be selling them at this stage. But if things change and we get good wind of it, apparently they're a cheap dual glass option as well, which could be seen as a great option for someone that wants something dual glass. You know, as we know, the great German panels, Solar Watt, that were once in Australia that are no longer in Australia, they're a dual glass. They're also a different type of dual glass, but potentially they're mimicking something like that, a bit like the Trina Vertex S Plus. So if you wanted a Vertex S Plus, but like on the budget, you could go for something like a Sunpro Power, I'd imagine, without looking too much into it. But that's what the customer raised my attention. I said, yeah, wow, looks like a good option. And what I'm seeing now, I haven't seen beforehand. I'm doing this all this research live. So it all does appear to be... Yeah, I'm surprised. I thought they were a different type of panel but they seem to have manufactured, like Trina's done. Trina has got their own battery as well, but I believe it's OEM as well. They're all Jinko doing the same thing, Sun Tank and things like that. I don't believe it's all built in-house. However, I could be wrong, but they're just too much of a big panel manufacturer. These guys must have been doing that silently around the world while the exclusivity remain with ADT Solar in Australia, and then that appears to have lapsed. They're now here. You can now get them. They got runs on the board 10 years now, all around the world: Germany, South America, Europe. If we look at the reviews, what happened to Sunpro Power? Company completes acquisition of Sunpro in December 21 and rebranded to ADT Solar. Like I said, ADT Home Security. That's what I worked out, see, before I read this. ADT Home Security owns ADT Solar. So I knew it was something to do with the security company. Like I said, what you're seeing here is me doing the research on the fly, because I don't have time. I just record myself doing research and talking about it, doing a bit of commentary as I do it. What's going on here? Was ADT Solar an American company, or was it in Australia as well? We don't know about that. So why you got a 3 review out of 683? This has nothing to do with Sunpro Solar now. Remember, all these 1 stars might be, they're talking about ADT. Yeah, see, do not read into this. This is nothing to do. It's even in America, Maryland. Nothing to do with what you're being offered here in Australia. Okay. Forbes talked about them. Like I said, it's all ADT. That all appears to have finished here in Australia. And you can now go and get yourself some Sunpro. What have Solar Quotes written about Sunpro? Mr. Finn Peacock, great guy. He's a great fan of the Australian Forum, Australia #1 solar forum, I believe. Great guy. He's got his employee of Finn Peacock's on the solar forum that Queensland Solar and Lighting proudly hosts. All unboosted too. We try to vet everyone to make sure they're all got of stable mind. Product review, Sunpro Solar in Australia. 13 reviews. Wonderful service, no problems. 2 years ago, someone bought them as recently as 2 years ago. No, sorry, this is Sunpro Solar, a provider. Whether or not they're now using, could be a coincidence, but if I was them, I'd put on Sunpro Solar and keep the brand all together. So this has nothing to do with the panels either. This is a solar installer in Queensland that looks to be a very good one. Ring them up, get a quote. They look good. We don't rubbish our competitors here. We talk them up. So, you got 13 reviews, all 5-star. They look all right. There's thousands of solar installers and retailers in Queensland, Brisbane area alone. So it's a jungle out there, as some of us say. So, yeah, Sunpro Solar, they look like a decent new entry, good budget panel from what I've seen. I only know about what I've shown you guys here right now today. And, yeah, get on it. Let us know what you think. Do you have Sunpro on? Are you considering a quote? Would you like to call us and get our opinions on it, in the future? Because, a lot of time will have passed since we've done this video. We might have started selling them. We might have, we might have heard other things about them. We might have other things to offer you instead. Let us know. Anyway, like, subscribe, comment, do all that stuff. And thanks for coming along to MC Studios and having a look and doing some research with us.